welcome to the maybe annual Hunger Games, okay? I don't know if I'm going to do this month to month or even more than once a year, so just don't get your hopes up. This is a competition for the tough and mighty, for those who have everything to lose because they have no choice. So, for those listening, be ready for descriptions of extreme gore and bloodshed. So, listener discretion is advised. Before we get to the contestants, let's introduce who shall be listening with us and might be in the games itself. So, who's here? Who are you guys? Come on, say something.
Oh, I thought you were going to introduce us in. Okay.
I don't want to say anything.
Wow.
I am those people that are rich who bets money on the poor. It is I, Ermen.
Whoa.
I snuck in here.
Jordan doesn't have a ticket, but there's not enough people in theaters. So
I'm crashing.
Anyways.
I'm crashing the hungry party.
Yeah.
He thought it was Hungry Games.
He's getting pretty hungry.
I'm getting pretty hungry, and I'm think I'm gonna have my fill of fights.
He's full of fights. That's right.
Bloodshed.
Boom. Okay, let's just introduce the contestants, and we'll get to talking again. So,
Oh yeah.
the first district, we have Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, former heavyweight champion of the world Mike Tyson, country music legend Dolly Parton, The Shape Michael Myers, liquid metal robot Terminator T-1000, and coked up mammal Cocaine Bear, and then also myself. That's the first district. Second district, the tent living villager from Stardew Valley, Linus, Petty Officer John 117 Master Chief, the Queen of Cosmetics Trixie Mattel, zombie survivor from Left 4 Dead, Bill, least favorite Griffin, Meg, and finally, it's your Uncle Grandpa, and then also a clone of Ermen, who's here, who's gonna die. Maybe die?
Hi.
Might die.
Yeah, I brought my clone in to see if I'm able to survive the game itself.
I kind of wish I signed up Kurt Cobain in the Hungry Games.
The way, if he were to die, then I probably would have made a reference to something. Moving on. Third district. The reptile Digimon Agumon, the insurance advisor Jake from State Farm, Heisenberg, aka Walter White, the cereal mascot Tony the Tiger, which I'm assuming is what you meant,
Yeah.
aquatic crustacean Shrimp, just a shrimp, the courageous appliance, the brave little toaster, and also a clone of Jordan as well.
I hope he loses.
The clone of Jordan? You hope he loses?
I hope he either gets the most kills. You know what? Let's just see what happens. Because last time I won one.
Second.
Last time I won by like holding an eraser up, and then he can. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I like held up an eraser, and then I killed the genie.
I remember that. Oh gosh, that was so long ago. Okay, fourth district. A loaf of bread, just a gluten bread. The lazy exterminator Gudetama. He who brings the flint and steel, Jack Black Steve. The sugary killer, a peep bunny. Fortnite royalty, Meowsicles, and a clone of Fire. How do we feel
It is
about
very
Fire's chances?
fiery, I could tell.
It is very
The
fiery.
loaf.
Yeah.
What else is in there?
Meowsicles,
one
a peep
creature.
bunny.
Yeah, that peep
Like,
bunny. It's very obvious.
There's been a lot more like mundane picks this year, simply because I think it's funny. Like a piece of bread, just
Random
you know,
objects.
Jordan,
Yeah.
but the brave little toaster, he's so brave.
a shrimp.
Shrimp is
Oh
Jordan.
my God, a
That's
shrimp
he's
and a
real,
bread.
Jordan.
Oh
He
my
makes
God.
the shrimp fried the rice. Jordan.
He fries the rice, bro.
Yeah, shrimp fries rice. Don't you know?
And finally, the fifth district and the final district, which I like to call the Return. The mild and iconic Amish man named Jebediah.
Jebediah. Back
The
from
Avatar.
dead.
Korra. fan favorite Homelander. True royalty, the Burger King. Number 45 and 47, Donald Trump. The Trash Man, Danny DeVito. Snoop D-O-double-G. The Oxy King, Billy Mays. And the deadly Minecraft mob, the Warden. And those are our contestants. Returners, returning us, people we've chosen. Who do you think is going to win? It could be anybody. Literally could be anybody.
The brave
I'm having PTSD on Amish Man.
The brave little toaster's out for blood, Jordan.
If you guys don't know, the Amish Man is Ermen's arch nemesis. She doesn't like the Amish Man.
My clone to be specific.
Your clone, yeah, specifically. And so Jordan says the brave little toaster.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ermen?
What I'm looking forward to?
Who do you think's gonna win?
Winning?
Anybody, literally anybody.
What is the most unpredictable one? The fucking
Shrimp.
loaf of bread.
Shrimp.
The loaf of bread? Okay, so the brave little toaster and the loaf of bread. That's beautiful. Okay.
Kurt Cobain, even though he's not there.
Unfortunately, he's already gone.
He's already gone? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he was picked, but there was an unfortunate accident. Okay, so now that we have our contestants, let's get in to the Hungry Games, the Jordino Games.
The
Annual
Jordino
Hungry Games.
The Jordino Hungry Games.
We open on the arena, which is an abandoned city taken over by nature. The crumbling architecture surrounds our contestants, who are standing on pedestals all facing each other. The horn blares and the bloodbath begins. We see several contestants scramble for the center looking for weapons that might help them out. Billy May stumbles off his pedestal and immediately clocks the brutish Minecraft mob, the Warden. He attempts to talk his way out of it, but with no beat, the Warden locates the salesman from the steps and he immediately fires a strong sonic boom. The attack strikes Billy Mays, which rips the clothing off of his back into pieces. This attack also knocks him down. After a moment, he regains his composure, stands to his feet, only to find the Warden towering over him. Billy Mays screams in terror, and the Warden raises both of his arms to the air, brings them down on the OxyClean salesman, smashing through his skull and upper body like they aren't even there, turning the top half of Billy Mays into a warm, red mush. The Warden moves on forward, wanting to find more victims to rip apart. Throughout the chaos, several people get out with helpful items. Linus gets away with a smart bomb from Super Smash Bros. For the more durable fighters. Jordan finds himself a lightsaber and flees into an apartment block, followed closely by Jack Black's Steve. Ermen finds a gravity hammer and stalks Jebediah into the city. The Master Chief finds a needler, something very familiar to him, and runs into the city, accompanied both by Meg and Meowsicles. The Burger King finds a crowbar and teams up with Michael Myers, who then rush into the city. Jordino runs away into the city with nothing. The brave little toaster hides away in the sewer. The shrimp scurries away. While running away, Mike Tyson runs into Dolly Parton and then socks her in the face, instantly killing Dolly with a single punch. Cora finds both Tony the Tiger and Gudetama and follows them into an alley. Walter White enters the city without any supplies. Donald Trump runs away with a blaster. Jake from State Farm, Danny DeVito, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Agumon run away together into the city with some survival supplies. Cocaine Bear sees T-1000 and a Peep Bunny walking into the city and curiously follows. Uncle Grandpa grabs a grenade and runs into the city. Trixie, Mattel, and a loaf of bread team up and hide in a building. Fee-Ray grabs a pitchfork and immediately starts chasing Bill into the city. So, as everyone leaves, Snoop Dogg stays behind to pick up the scraps and finds a whole crate of Pokeballs. Before he throws it, he is heard by the Warden, who's trying to find more meat to kill. Snoop Dogg panics and starts to throw every single Pokeball he can at the Warden. and then a sonic boom from the warden turns almost every Pokeball into dust. He takes 2 more and notices one says empty and the other says do not throw. In a moment of desperation, he throws the empty ball, and it bounces off the beast. In a second, the ball sucks the warden in, and for a moment all is calm. The ball gently shakes on the ground once. In that moment, a silent figure floats down from the sky. Homelander hovers just above Snoop Dogg and laughs. The ball shakes once more. The superhero lands to the ground and places a hand on Snoop Dogg's shoulder. Snoop shakes in fear, but this amuses Homelander. Before Homelander can do anything sinister, the Pokeball fails, and the warden bursts from the ball and takes hold of Homelander. The superhero is tossed away by his cape and lands hard into the ground, and Snoop Dogg is knocked away by the big mob. Homelander stands and calls the beast over. The warden fires his sonic boom, and Homelander fires his heat vision. The 2 energies dissipate before they can even reach their target. And this forces Homelander to get close. They both charge in, and a powerful shockwave happens when they meet palms. Snoop Dogg regains his footing and decides, in order to survive, he might need to use the other Pokeball. He throws it at the 2 powerhouses, and from the ball, a single round Pokemon appears. An Electrode, with the ominous label above its head, level 100. Snoop Dogg begins to run, and Homelander pushes the warden back and kicks the Pokemon towards Snoop Dogg like a soccer ball. The Pokemon flies through the air, and as soon as it hits Snoop Dogg, it uses Explosion, and the fireball incinerates Snoop Dogg immediately. The blast from the explosion is so powerful that it throws both Homelander and the warden across the arena. Homelander uses his flying to his advantage and takes the warden to the arena border, holds him to the border, and this slowly starts to fry the warden, whom, in a last-ditch effort, uses all of his might and cracks one punch across Homelander's face. This knocks the superhero out, and the 2 fall hundreds of feet to the ground. When they hit the ground, only Homelander survives, albeit he is out cold and not getting up anytime soon. Just take a small break. I need some water. That's not even the first part of it. How are we feeling?
Nice.
It hasn't even been 1 day yet.
Wait, it hasn't been a day yet? The day hasn't ended?
No.
No, this is still the bloodbath. It just ended. And we have 3 kills.
I thought that was great. Yeah, it was Billy Mays, Snoopy
Billy
Dog,
Mays.
I thought it was 4. Wait, what happened to the warden?
Oh,
yeah,
the warden's
the
dead.
Just knocked
yeah.
out?
The warden died? Okay, then that's 3.
So Snoop, Warden, Dolly, Billy Mays. 4.
Dolly, I forgot about Dolly. Dolly got killed by a
I
punch.
forgot
One
about
punch.
Dolly too.
He got knocked out by
I should have said One Punch Man, but I feel like he wouldn't be fair.
He wouldn't be fair.
It wouldn't be fair.
Billy Mays got his upper part of the body got like destroyed, smushed
Yeah, and then Snoop Dogg died via electrode.
via electrode explosion.
Well,
literally
so
incinerating him.
currently the warden has the most kill count, but he died. So that's his current high score.
So it's capped.
Technically,
They capped the skill count.
yeah, technically. And Jordan,
Stop
you have a
the
lightsaber.
I do have a lightsaber, and who was it that followed me? It was someone followed
Jack
me.
Black, Steve,
Yup, Steve.
and Ermen.
And
you have
Jordino?
a gravity hammer.
Oh, I thought it was a gun. Oh.
have a gravity hammer. I think the
Gravity
only person with a
hammer's
gun is Donald Trump, who has a blaster, like a Star Wars
Oh,
blaster.
yeah.
Twomp, Mr. Twomp,
Twomp.
Mr. Twomp.
Yeah. And as for
Okay,
Jordino, he just frolicked around.
I have nothing. I'm just running away. And then Fiore is chasing Bill with a pitchfork, like furiously just chasing that poor man.
Which Bill again? Bill Nye or
From Left 4 Dead
Bill? Oh, that Bill. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bills.
My boy
There's a lot of
Bill.
with the green beret, and
There's a lot of bills, yeah.
there
There's
is a lot of Bills.
There's a lot of Bills.
I'm gonna keep saying Bill because I don't want to like say Left 4 Dead Bill every single time.
Bill.
Okay.
I mean,
let's
the
see
other
where I
Bill
am.
is kind of technically dead, right? As for Trixie, I never expected them to be duo. Trixie and the bread.
Trixie and the Bread. It's my favorite Saturday morning
Has Shrimp
cartoon.
been mentioned yet?
It does feel like a cartoon.
Has who?
Mr. Shrimp, has he been
Yeah, he
mentioned
scurried
yet?
away. He just
Didn't
scurried
he
away.
like teamed up with
He was
somebody?
scurrying away. See,
remember
I can
who
see
it is.
Shrimp winning this because he's just so small. How is anyone gonna find one small shrimp in the middle of a battlefield? We have to. Yeah, sorry, guys, it's not over. There's a shrimp on the field. You have to find him. You have to find the shrimp.
Just one person left.
The
Just the
game-
whole city.
The
One
game does
shrimp.
not. The game does not end until we kill the shrimp.
Okay, let's continue. Continue with day 1. After the bloodbath, we catch up with Jordan, who is hiding underneath a table due to the explosion which caused the building to shake. After coming out from under the table, he instantly clocks Steve Jack Black, entering the room. They freeze for a moment. Jack Black Steve makes the first move and grabs a lamp and throws it at Jordan. It bounces off him without much injury. Steve Jack Black charges and Jordan waits for him to get close. As he's running, he equips his diamond sword and brings it down on him. Jordan ignites his lightsaber and parries the diamond sword, forcing the sword deep into the wooden floor. Steve Jack Black kicks Jordan's chest, which throws him to the cabinetry behind him. Jack Black Steve tries to flee, but Jordan throws the lightsaber towards Steve, which slices his feet off while he runs. Jordan picks himself up, retrieves his lightsaber, and leaves the legless Jack Black Steve to die.
Wait, I have question. Am I
Okay.
only? I was only using the lightsaber as a weapon, right? I wasn't using the Force.
No
No force whatsoever.
No Force. You're not a Jedi.
All right,
You
I was
have
just
a lightsaber.
clarifying.
You just have a lightsaber.
Because maybe the
Yeah.
lightsaber chose me, you know.
Yeah. Like if I give you an M16, that doesn't make you a Navy like a SEAL.
Am I a Navy Jordan? Am I a Navy SEAL now?
Yes. That's not how things work. Generally.
Jordan, did I shoot Osama bin Laden?
Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. So we catch up with the T-1000 Terminator and a Peep. So the two are walking through the empty streets and come across a nearly perfect vehicle. The two enter the car and try to find if there are any keys hidden away. While they look, Cocaine Bear follows the scent of the Peep Bunny and comes up to the car. Cocaine Bear comes to the side of the car and manages to open the door. The Peep Bunny jumps into the T-1000's hands and the Cocaine Bear lunges forward. T-1000 grabs hold of Cocaine Bear's snout and they crash through the other car door. The Terminator absorbs the Peep Bunny into his shoulder, allowing his head to poke out at the top. Cocaine Bear slashes at the T-1000's face and it deforms to his side. In retaliation, the Terminator morphs his hand into a blade and stabs it into the bear's stomach. Cocaine Bear, still above him, digs his claws into the Terminator's sides and attempts to bite his head, his teeth digging into a goopy mess of metal. Terminator begins to reform his face when Cocaine Bear sniffs the Peep Bunny out and sinks his teeth into the T-1000's shoulders, where he had put the Peep Bunny. He chomps out the Peep Bunny and swallows him whole. Cocaine Bear proceeds to tear apart the Terminator until his pieces are thrown across the road, thinking he is dead. Cocaine Bear leaves before the T-1000 can reform. Elsewhere, after a long chase, Bill slows down for just a moment. This allows Firay to poke him with a pitchfork. He falls forward onto the pavement and begins to beg for his life. Firay takes a moment to think about it. Maybe Bill could be their servant and minion, but that seems like slavery, so it's probably better to kill Bill. In that moment of thought, Bill finds a rock and chucks it at Firay. The rock digs into Firay's head and causes them to bleed, which gives Bill enough time to get up. Firay wipes the blood from his eyes, and just enough to see Bill making a run for it. They take a hold of the pitchfork and almost perfectly throws it at Bill, piercing him in the back, causing him to fall forward again. Firay cleans up the blood and stumbles to Bill, takes the pitchfork out, and then begins to stab Bill over and over until the green of his jacket cannot be seen. Firay wipes the blood off the weapon, then continues into the city looking for some water. The sun begins to set, and the lights of the city all flicker on. We have entered night 1. Okay, I'm gonna have some more water.
That was
Well.
crazy.
So who else is dead?
Steve.
Wait, is Steve dead, or did I just?
You just kind of
Steve's
left
dead,
him
yeah.
to die, though.
He's dead?
But
He's
is that...
left him to die.
He just
But
more
is he
ambiguous,
pronounced
but
dead?
bled out. I'm just
it's
gonna
more
say
ambiguous,
bled out.
but he doesn't come back, so. I'll
So
say
you just
that.
spoiled it.
He doesn't come back. He's dead. You've killed him.
He's
Oh.
dead. I've demolished him. He's gone.
You've demolished him.
No loophole.
So-
No. What's it called? No
What?
loose threads.
No
Can't
loose
forget
threads
about-
allowed.
Can't forget about nobody.
And the Peep Bunny's dead, which was eaten by the cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear. Wait, what happened to the Terminator? Because Cocaine Bear was fighting the Terminator, right?
Yeah. This is the Terminator that can, like, is goopy and can turn into, like, can
So the
shapeshift
T-
its form.
Is that
So
1000?
it's alive.
T-1000?
T-1000, yeah. He just got ripped apart, but he's alive. And
Okay.
none of us are dead yet. I'll say that. None of us
Yeah.
are dead.
Surprisingly.
Mm-hmm. I thought for sure you were gonna make me die really early to Steve.
That would have been sad. Like you were saying, I
mean-
want to go far this year, and then he just, the second
I want to
one.
go far.
Fucking
this
dies in
time.
the middle.
Yeah, this is dies to the first guy with a diamond sword.
Love it. And you didn't even take it
I didn't take it. I should have.
because you have a better weapon, I guess.
I do. I lightsabers do cut through diamond.
And I think in this continuity, I did make it parry it, but it was useless after that.
Oh,
Like you
You
parry.
can only parry once.
parry this.
parry
casual.
once. Parry this, you filthy casual. Hits him with a
Parry
lightsaber.
this. Parry this casual.
Okay, we're entering night 1. Korra sits on the light pole, stalking Gudetama and the Tony the Tiger. They're huddled around the crudely made fire. Korra jumps from the lights and lands feet away from the two. Tony the Tiger reacts first. He takes a tree branch he had collected earlier, lights it on fire, and Tony the Tiger points the burning end at Korra, who is unfazed. He swipes it at her, who is still doesn't react. When the now unlit branch whacks against her face, Tony is stunned. She then bends the flame of the bonfire to engulf Tony the Tiger, who helplessly runs into the night before falling and succumbing to the flame. Now Gudetama sits there lazily, still looking at the fire. Korra takes a moment to pity the small egg creature, before ultimately stepping on it and seeing the yolk gush out from under her boot. She takes a seat by the fire and waits for the morning. Meanwhile, Donald Trump walks through the halls of an abandoned hospital, hoping to find something useful. He makes his way through the hospital and comes across a medicine cabinet. He rummages through it and then hears footsteps, which continues to get louder. He covers his mouth and the footsteps stop. Then the lights go out. He turns around and starts going back from where he came from. But then he hears the unmistakable sound of a lightsaber. He turns around and sees Jordan sprinting at him. Donald raises his blaster and begins to blast at him. Jordan deflects each blast away and gets close enough to decapitate Donald Trump. His head flies through the air and his body falls to the ground. Jordan checks the body and steals his blaster, then makes his way out of the hospital.
Let's go.
Elsewhere, Danny DeVito, Agumon, Jake from State Farm, and Obi-Wan Kenobi walk through the street and find Jordino. And the host decides to join the group. As they walk on, they come across another group. This group consists of Michael Myers, the Burger King, and Mike Tyson. The first group stops in their tracks and decides to make a run for it, but the attempt was futile as Michael Myers was much too fast for Danny DeVito. Michael took out a hammer and raised it above his head. Before getting the chance to whack DeVito, Jake from State Farm drew his own weapon, an energy sword, and went to battle against the murderer. Obi-Wan Kenobi then used his force to freeze the Burger King in place before he could unsheath his crowbar, leaving Agumon and Jordino to face Mike Tyson. Even in his old age, he was a formidable opponent. They both attacked the aging boxer. Mike Tyson dodged Jordino's attacks, and Mike landed one great punch on Agumon, knocking him out cold. Mike Tyson then threw a mighty punch at Jordino, who was saved in the last second by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who let the Burger King go for just a second to send Mike Tyson flying backwards. This split second allowed the Burger King to unsheath his crowbar and smash it against Obi-Wan's chest, breaking his ribs and leaving a fatal injury. Agumon woke up again, and through this turmoil, evolved into his next stage, Greymon. Greymon then battled with the Burger King. Mike Tyson regained his consciousness and attacked Jordino once more. He was unmatched, and he knew it. Donnie DeVito called out to Jordino and threw him a can of OxyClean and a lighter. Without a beat, Jordino sprayed Mike Tyson and lit the escaping gas, creating a powerful blast of fire that engulfed Mike Tyson, killing him slowly and painfully. After Mike was dead, the Burger King and Michael Myers fled from their battles, leaving the group to tend to Obi-Wan Kenobi before he disappeared into the Force. Elsewhere, Jedediah enters a normal convenience store, stocked with food and supplies. He takes a bag and starts to fill it up with whatever he can. Just outside the store, Ermen watches fiddling with her gravity hammer, looking for a good moment to strike. As Jedediah browses the aisles, Ermen enters the store and spots him. Jedediah doesn't notice Ermen lift the gravity hammer above her head and send it down the aisle. Without even knowing what's going to happen, Jedediah's head explodes, one side of his face being sent the one way and the other being sent the other. His body stiffens up before falling into the aisle full of food. Ermen retrieves the gravity hammer and, just in case, slams the body of Jedediah again before leaving the store with nothing but a bottle of water. Meanwhile, the brave little toaster is moving along the lamp-lit streets looking for a suitable place to settle down for the night, when a foot suddenly kicks him over 10 feet away. The brave little toaster gathers itself and turns to see Walter White staring at the little toaster with a dead stare. From the shadows, the shrimp watches on and sees what's about to happen to Walter. Walter White is too focused on the toaster to notice that giant coked-up grizzly bear right behind him. Walter screams at the toaster before being slashed in the back by the bear's claws. The shrimp scurries away yet again, with the toaster following closely behind. Walter White attempts to crawl away from the bear, but Cocaine Bear is hungry and high, so the bear rips through Walter's neck muscles and pulls out whatever detaches. Walter screams until he cannot. The bear rips open Walter's ribcage and feasts. Several loud booms are heard in the sky. Billy Mays, Dolly Parton, Snoop Dogg, The Warden, Jack Black Steve, A Peep Bunny, Bill, Gudetama, Tony the Tiger, Donald Trump, Mike Tyson, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedediah, Walter White. The night grows colder, and so the rest of the competition finds shelter to sleep until the next morning. Trixie, Mattel, and a loaf of bread huddle inside of an abandoned factory. Uncle Grandpa finds a park bench to crash on. Master Chief cannot sleep and stays up until morning looking after both Meg and Meowsicles. Linus finds the bruised body of Homelander and keeps an eye on him, planning to use the smart bomb just in case. Morning breaks and the sky is stormy. Break. I need water.
Break.
That was wild.
So Jordan,
even
Even more wild.
you decapitated Donald Trump.
Lore accurate.
Lore accurate happens in IRL lore.
Happens in real Jordan the Amazing Lore.
Yeah. And then Ermen, you get your revenge on Jedediah, the Amish man, and
Nice.
you just absolutely
Finally.
obliterate his skull.
Walter White immediately mauled by a bear.
He's just mauled by a bear. He's just, bro. That's great. I love
But the
that.
question is, who would win, Mike Tyson versus two men? Was it two men that fought with him?
Me and the dinosaur,
Jordan
the
and
Digimon.
Agumon.
Yeah.
Agumon got knocked out, but then through his resilience, he evolved into Greymon.
Digivolved.
And then I burnt Mike Tyson to a crisp.
By
Why'd you do
spraying
that?
it with
How could you do
oxygen.
that? How could you do that to a national hero, Jordan?
To a national hero, Because
How can I do
he's
that
gonna
to you?
punch me. Because he punched Agumon, Jordan. Because he punched Agumon.
He punched Agumon. You had to. I feel like Agumon can just eat him now.
But then
Greymon,
this
sorry,
allowed.
Greymon. I feel like Greymon.
But then, yeah, Greymon. But then Obi-Wan Kenobi died from just a whack against the chest. I feel like that would kill an old man.
I feel like it doesn't matter how strong you are, anyone can die from just a simple fall.
Maybe he didn't fall. He
No,
was
I'm
whacked
just saying,
against
like,
the chest. Oh,
I was saying, like, in general, someone can die from, like, accident.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what do you call those?
I'm sure that can happen.
Oh, I should know the word for this.
Like dysentery. Dysentery
Accidents.
water.
Just accidents.
And so
Falls, like a simple bump in the wrong place.
yeah. So the brave little toaster's still alive. He was kicked by Walter White, but
Surprisingly.
he survived.
Oh,
And the loaf of bread is still alive, just huddled with
Just
Trixie
cuddling.
Mattel in a factory.
Yeah, just cuddling with Trixie.
I mean, it's a loaf of bread.
Is Trixie gonna eat the
Nothing else.
bread?
I'm not gonna say.
Wait, does the bread move around or does it just stay there?
I feel like it's
Trixie
a
carries him
sentient. It's a
around.
sentient.
Sentient loaf of bread? Okay. I think it'd be really funny if the loaf of bread was a contestant and people were just carrying it around.
Like it was a sourdough.
It's an actual
Okay,
just a loaf
wait.
of bread. It does nothing.
The thing is it like actual size of a loaf of bread or human size loaf of bread?
It's like a
I
size of
wrote it
Wonder
as
Bread,
just.
right? It's like
I
Wonder
wrote
Bread.
it as just like a loaf of bread, like the size
Wonder
of a
Bread.
loaf of bread.
Because the thing is, most likely Trixie is carrying around a loaf of bread. Because how many steps does it take to take like 1 fucking meter
I don't know.
for a loaf of bread?
I feel. Oh yeah.
So
I
most
see
likely
what
they're
you mean.
carrying it. Exactly.
Yeah, it would have to be carrying the loaf of bread. The loaf of bread don't have legs.
They,
I think it's
they
the only
simply have
legless-
to.
No, the Peep Bunny had no legs, but the Peep Bunny died, and it was
Does
being
shrimp,
carried by.
Does shrimp have legs, Jordan? Are those legs?
Yes, I think those are legs, but we're kind of bending physics here by having it move around on land.
We're
don't think-
pretending, Jordan. It's
Yeah,
fine.
we're
physics don't matter.
There's a loaf of bread.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting Mike
yeah,
Tyson.
bread.
Okay,
Yeah, nothing matters here.
nothing matters. I decapitated Donald Trump with a lightsaber,
Yeah.
which has happened in real life. Which
Realistically, the
it's
final
real.
matchup could
It's
be
so real.
a loaf
Like,
of
it
bread
actually
versus
happened.
Homelander.
Oh, and there's a chance that the bread could win. Is the
There's a
problem.
chance
There's a
the bread could win.
The chance, the bread has a chance here.
So reality is not in play here.
Reality is whatever I want it to be.
Well,
Reality
it's
can do whatever I want, Jordan.
Yeah. Okay, so let's enter day 2. So we left off with a stormy sky. So day 2. The sky is gray, and violent winds wake up every contestant. Large writing on the barrier states, event, EF5 tornado, multiple. The wind picks up even more, and several spouts drop from the sky and begin to rip apart the city. We start by coming across the group of Danny DeVito, Jordino, Greymon, Jake from State Farm, and they travel further from the center in order to hopefully dodge the tornado's path. Instead, what they find is the severely damaged body of Homelander, with Linus looking on. Danny DeVito immediately orders the others to turn around. This order wakes Homelander, whose laser vision tears through the city, just missing each member. He rises from his crater and floats to the group. Seeing through the concrete, he intercepts their path and appears in front of them. The group stops, and in front of them is the strongest contestant in the game, and behind them is an EF5 tornado. Homelander floats to the ground and limps to them. He picks Jake at random and pokes him in the chest, effectively breaking a rib. Jordino protests, but he is met with a powerful smack to the body. The swipe is powerful enough to send his broken body flying through some buildings until it is picked up by the giant tornado ravaging the city, being slammed against the ground by the tornado, turning him into a flattened, red mess. The group takes their chances and runs away from Homelander, who doesn't follow. While running, Danny DeVito trips and Greymon stays with him. Jake from State Farm continues running, and the tornado starts coming closer. He stops again and has no idea where to go. Before he could react, from the tornado, a lightning strike fries Jake from State Farm, and he falls to the ground, still sizzling. Danny DeVito and Greymon take shelter in a subway system, away from the terrible winds. And elsewhere, Trixie, Mattel, and the loaf of bread huddle in the corner, listening to the winds travel through the factory's winding halls. In that moment, the power goes out, and Michael Myers appears from thin air. He corners Trixie and the loaf of bread, wielding a hammer. Before Michael Myers could kill the two, a tornado rips through the factory, and the building starts to crumble. The wall behind Trixie and the loaf of bread caves in, and the two are crushed underneath the rubble. Michael Myers starts to run away, but is stopped by a random piece of debris thrown by the tornado. The debris smashes into his head, which sends bits and pieces flying. His body then gets sucked up by the tornado. Back to DeVito. He and Greymon huddle in the subway as the tornado throws everything above them. In the subway, Fee-Ray appears, hiding as well. Danny DeVito and Greymon freeze when they see Fee-Ray. Fee-Ray takes a moment and decides that they're going to kill them both. Danny and Greymon make the call to climb up to the surface. Fee-Ray chases the two to the surface without realizing the ferocious tornado tearing the city apart. The wind gets too strong and starts to pull all three of them. Greymon is carried out at high speeds, and Danny DeVito hangs on. Fee-Ray's body is pulled by the wind, but they grab on to Danny's arm, forcing them out with them. Fee-Ray and Danny DeVito are thrashed around the street, tearing them into pieces and killing them in the process. Greymon flies in the tornado's winds, using this opportunity of uncertainty to transform again into Metal Greymon, and he uses the wind to track down Homelander. Linus watches Homelander as he watches the city be torn apart by the tornado. He decides to use the smart bomb against him, but before he could throw it, Metal Greymon tackles Homelander and pins him to the ground. The two begin to trade hits as Homelander knocks out the Digimon's teeth. Metal Greymon uses his bladed arm and pierces Homelander's chest, which causes the soup to spit up blood. Homelander knocks Metal Greymon off and flies above the Digimon and lasers him down. Metal Greymon meets him in the sky and digs his metal claws in him again. Homelander takes the battle back to the ground and fights through his adrenaline to rip off Metal Greymon's wings, causing major damage. Linus sees the battle and decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. He charges at the two, wielding the smart bomb. Both parties see Linus too late, and Linus activates the bomb, vaporizing himself as it detonates. The explosion is powerful, and it focuses on Homelander and Metal Greymon, melting the Digimon's metal skin onto Homelander, killing them both in the process. On the other side of the city, most of the survivors find themselves huddled in the same building, the tallest tower in the city, which was saved from the blast and the tornadoes. In the building was the Burger King, Ermen, the Shrimp, Uncle Grandpa, Jordan, Cora, the Brave Little Toaster, the T-1000, Cocaine Bear, and all occupying different floors and all unknowing that there are others in the building. The only competitors to not make into the building is the trio of Meg, Meowsicles, and Master Chief. They were racing to the building as the last of the tornadoes was heading right for them. As the tornado grew closer, smaller debris started to fly past them at high speeds, forcing them to weave. The group lost its distance, and the tornado grew close. They were feet away from the safety of the tower before the wind got too strong, and in one last moment of heroism, Master Chief pushed the other two into the building, before being taken by the wind. Meg and Meowsicle watched on as Master Chief disappeared into the dark winds. And at this moment, every single contestant was in the tower, and one last announcement was made to them all. It read, "Make way to the top floor." No explanation and no incentive, but everybody did anyway. As every contestant began to make their way, several loud booms were heard from the sky. Jordino, Jake from State Farm, Trixie Mattel, A Loaf of Bread, Michael Myers, Fee-Ray, Danny DeVito, Metal Greymon, Homelander, Linus, and Master Chief 11 contestants remain. I need more water.
Fuck!
I'm so sorry, guys. The game does not end until the shrimp dies.
Everyone died because of
alive.
the fucking tornado.
No.
I thought they survived that shit.
I thought I was the only survivor. Sorry, there's a shrimp on the board.
Ermen's alive still. You're alive still, Ermen. So
I'm
you got
just
this.
chilling.
Wait,
I know,
I'm
but
still
like,
alive too,
Linus!
right?
You're
You
alive
died,
too,
though.
Jordan. I died.
You died.
Homelander like socked me across the face and I went flying.
Dude,
With
the,
through
the
buildings
Homelander
and I
versus Greymon fight? Insane.
I needed some way to get rid of Homelander, and when you said, remember that time you texted me and said, "Okay, Agumon needs to evolve this time."
He needs to,
okay.
because you fucked it up last time. You got kicked and shit. Didn't grow once. Didn't get big.
And he got big this time, and he took out. Oh,
Dude,
actually,
he got so
didn't take
big.
him
It
out.
was so cool.
It was
It was
kind of
Linus.
like
He pretty much basically did a
He
suicide
melted.
bomb.
He melted.
using that smart bomb.
Damn, that's insane. Do you know it's not from Smash, Jordan? It's from Star Fox.
I saw that before, and I looked it up when I was writing the script. I put Smash Brothers, but I said, you know what? More people are gonna know Smash Brothers.
More people are gonna know Smash Brothers than, dude. Fox McCloud is sad, Jordan.
And so, Fire's dead. Got thrown around with Danny DeVito.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
They were both like thrashed around in like the wind blender. Trixie Mattel, Jake from State Farm got like
Yeah, he got
Fried.
slain.
Yeah, basically your group like died.
He exploded.
my whole group died. No one survived.
That's what happened. That's what happens when you group up.
They all die to either a
You become
tornado
a
or
target,
Homelander.
Jordan. You become a target.
So the remaining people are you, Jordan, Ermen, the Burger King, the Shrimp, the T-1000, Cocaine Bear, the Brave Little Toaster, Uncle Grandpa, Cora, Meg, and Meowsicles.
Oh, 11 left?
Oh wait. Sorry. The entire time I kept hearing, is it Mike Myers? Like
Michael
Yeah,
Myers,
baby?
like
Or
the
Michael
Halloween.
Myers, like the
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Oh, behave. He has a knife and Trixie Mattel. Yeah, baby. Oh, behave. Just... that'd be funny.
Yeah, that's some
Freaking
powers.
Michael Myers.
I
Okay.
think
Oh. I think that was the last of my water. What?
Now we're all in one building, right?
No, yeah. Now we're all in one place. I wonder who's gonna be the winner.
Yeah, you guys are here. Let's get a night too. Okay. Each fighter decided to make their own way up the tower. Some podcast hosts took the elevator, some others took the stairs. Cora, who took the stairs, was climbing up when she came to a random cop. Cora was confused by the police officer, which turned out to be the T-1000. The Terminator then transformed into Cora, surprising Cora herself. She admired the imitation. While they got along, footsteps were heard coming up the stairs. Cora and T-1000 both went silent and vanished into the door of that floor. They listened to the footsteps grow closer and saw Uncle Grandpa huffing up the stairs. Cora took a moment to think, but the T-1000 just acted. He busted out from behind the door and morphed its hands into two blades. Uncle Grandpa tried to flee, but Cora froze him using his blood bending, allowing the T-1000 to finish Uncle Grandpa by using its shiny bladed hands to travel through the head of the cartoon character, wrap its hands around its brain, and crushing it, thus killing him. The two took a moment to catch their breath. Then they heard more noises. They looked behind them, and they saw a large cocaine-covered bear holding a small shrimp in its mouth. Cora and the T-1000 wasted no time and fled upstairs. Cocaine Bear followed them, still coked out and still hungry. Small break. Sorry, Jordan.
I died.
The bear.
I got mauled by a bear. I died to a bear, just like in the zombie apocalypse.
Well, not you, but the shrimp did.
It's a shrimp.
Oh, the shrimp. Oh. Poor shrimp.
That's true. You can't get away with nature.
Shrimp got eaten. The game can finally end. We don't have to look for the shrimp at the. We don't have to. We don't have to play look for the shrimp.
We don't have to play look for the shrimp in the entire building.
We don't have to play look for the shrimp.
Okay, here we go. So they ran up to the top floor, where they found multiple fighters. The room was large and surrounded by floor to ceiling windows. On that floor was Cora, T-1000, Meg, Meowsicles, the Brave Little Toaster, the Burger King, Ermen, and Jordan. Nobody dared move. The tension in that room felt uncomfortable. So Ermen decided to fix that by using her gravity hammer to completely destroy the Brave Little Toaster. The little plane stood no chance, and it died instantly, breaking into a million pieces. The room broke into chaos, and each fighter found a fight. Meg and Meowsicle took Cora and T-1000, and Ermen, Jordan, and the Burger King fought. As the others fought, Meg and Cora's battle was nothing less of spectacular. Cora used the sweat on her brow as ammunition, and repeatedly shot it at Meg. Meg endured hit after hit, but she had equipped the Master Chief's Needler. They shot at each other, sometimes missing, sometimes not. Meg closed the distance and scratched Cora with the sharp end of her needler. The blood only proved useful to Cora, using the newly obtained liquid to attack Meg, causing major harm. Meanwhile, the T-1000 had copied the form of Meowsicle, and they were equally matched. Meg ran out of needles to shoot, and Cora took the situation to create a blade for herself. Made from the blood she bled. Meg kept fighting off the flurry of attacks, but Cora proved too formidable and stabbed Meg in the chest. Meg's eyes rolled back into her head and died in that moment. Cora used the blood that drained from Meg and created a spear. She then threw the spear at Meowsicle, who used T-1000 as a shield, but due to T-1000's gooey nature, the spear flew right through him and pierced Meowsicle, killing the cat right there. T-1000 and Cora took another moment to rest. Meanwhile, the fight between the Burger King, Jordan, and Ermen was fast-paced. Ermen struck the Burger King with the gravity hammer, forcing him back against the glass. Jordan swiped at Ermen with a lightsaber. She managed to dodge the attack by falling backward. Jordan wound up another swipe before being kicked aside by the Burger King, knocking him down. Ermen attacked the Burger King again, but he just got out of the way and brought the crowbar against her temple, which temporarily knocked her out. Jordan entered the fight again, swinging the lightsaber and managing to cut his crowbar into two pieces. He threw the pieces at Jordan, which staggered him. Ermen entered the fight again by striking the Burger King with the gravity hammer, which sent him flying forward. She used the momentum in her swing to swing again at Jordan, who brought this lightsaber to the gravity hammer's hilt, slicing at Ermen's forearm and cutting off the entire hand. Ermen threw one punch at Jordan with her good hand, hitting his nose, causing him to recoil back. Ermen tried to kick Jordan as he was regaining his step, just to be interrupted by the Burger King, who caught her kick and struck her knee so hard that it broke her leg. She fell to the ground, nursing that knee, and was left to suffer. Not die, suffer. Now that Ermen was incapacitated, the Burger King turned his attention to solely to Jordan. Jordan began to attack. He swung his saber over and over, never once hitting the fast food mascot. Jordan didn't really stand a chance to his speed. That's when both Cora and T-1000 stepped in to assist. 3-on-1 against the Burger King proved to be a fair fight, as the three combatants managed to land blows on the king. Cora used her makeshift blood spear and severed the Burger King's arm off. Adrenaline rushed through his veins, and he became more unhinged. In one quick swipe of his crowbar, the Burger King split the T-1000 in half, then repeated that another dozen times, effectively dissolving the Terminator, killing it. Before the Burger King could continue his flurry on another, the cocaine bear busted open the door, and every living fighter in that room froze. Even the Burger King was terrified of the coked up bear. The bear rushed to the group. Korra tried to stab the beast, but a powerful strike from the bear sent the avatar flying back, now with a fresh and deep cut across her face, leaving her to bleed to death from her face injuries. Cocaine Bear jumped onto Ermen's still living body and sunk its teeth into her shoulder and pulled out a hefty chunk. The Burger King kicked the beast back, which caused it to stumble for a second. In a moment of mercy, the Burger King quickly crushed Ermen's throat with his foot to prevent further suffering. Jordan charged at the Burger King again, and he jumped back, just barely avoiding the lightsaber. The Burger King tried to attack back, but he heard snarling from behind him and realized he was surrounded. The Burger King thought about his situation and slowly shifted over to the window. Both Jordan and Cocaine Bear followed him to the window, and then Cocaine Bear attacked. The bear lunged forward, and the Burger King swiped at the animal, forcing it back. Jordan thrusted the lightsaber and managed to nick the Burger King in the back. The king recoiled for a moment, which allowed Cocaine Bear to swipe at him. The powerful hit knocked the Burger King back, and Jordan thrusted forward again, piercing the king in the back. Jordan dug deeper and retracted the blade to turn the king around to see his face. The Burger King's face was unchanging and kept that same creepy plastic smile. Jordan reignited the blade and dug it deep into his chest. The Burger King still did not react. Instead, he grabbed to the hilt of the lightsaber and jumped through the glass window. Jordan tried holding onto the weapon, but the Burger King kicked off the side of the building and fell to his death, still holding the lightsaber. After a moment of silence, Jordan heard a crazed growl just behind him. He turned around, and Cocaine Bear towered over him. Jordan tried to take the easy route and fall back into the clouds, but Cocaine Bear's claws dug into the chest of Jordan and pulled him back up. He screamed in pain and was thrown back into the building. He rolled over violently, held his wounds as they gushed red. Jordan looked around the room and desperately trying to find something that could save himself. He saw that Ermen's corpse was still holding the gravity hammer and leapt over. Cocaine Bear followed quickly. Jordan grabbed the gravity hammer, swung it over his head toward the animal. The animal went in for a swipe and had its paw meet the full force of the gravity hammer, splitting it apart into pieces. The bear recoiled and nursed the injured limb. Jordan stood to his feet and slammed the hammer onto the bear once again, throwing it back further. Jordan marched on and went in for another swing. Then Cocaine Bear quickly grabbed onto the handle of the hammer with his teeth, also grabbing Jordan's fingers in the process. Jordan dropped the hammer onto Cocaine Bear, causing both parties to recoil back. Jordan looked around and saw that the needler that Meg was wielding was still there. Before moving, Jordan's arm was met with Cocaine Bear's teeth, and he screamed in pain. He was thrown again and ended up near the needler. He reached for the new weapon through his fading vision. Cocaine Bear made another charge, and the vibration notified Jordan of his oncoming presence. He snapped back to reality, grabbed the space weapon, and aimed it at Cocaine Bear. He squeezed the trigger, only for one needle to pop out from the weapon. It dug into the bear's left eye and caused it to pause, and through the adrenaline, Jordan stood back up, squeezed the trigger more, but no more needles came out. Cocaine Bear regained its composure and limped over to Jordan, breathing heavily, expelling small particles of cocaine with every outward breath. Jordan raised his fist to the beast and gestured it to come here. Cocaine Bear snapped forward, wrapped his teeth around Jordan's head, and squeezed. After a second, Jordan's skull failed and his head collapsed in blood and exploded out in a gushy mess. Cocaine Bear began to feast on each body on the floor and went to bed satisfied and the winner of this year's Hunger Games.
This is so fucked up. This is fucked up. I could fight a bear. I could fight a cocaine bear. Jordan, you should have given me some cocaine too.
Should I given you some cocaine?
Yeah, it's unfair.
So Ermen, you died.
Wait, did I got knocked out by my own hammer? Is that what happened?
No, I killed you.
So you were fighting, you threw your fighting, and Jordan cut the crowbar in half. No, wait, hold on.
I cut your hand.
Yeah, the Burger King whacked.
I cut your hand.
Yeah. That's what happened. Jordan cut your hand off, and then you went in for a kick, and the Burger King caught your kick and basically folded your leg inwards, breaking it, causing you to fall to the ground. And then Cocaine Bear came in, took a chunk out from your shoulder, and then the Burger King finished you off by like crushing your throat with his foot. So you had a very cinematic death.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much going on. I got confused partway through.
And Jordan fought a bear.
I did fight a bear. It was really cool.
He fought a bear with a hammer.
I thought I was going to win. Dude.
You were close.
Sure.
Only if that
So
needler
close.
didn't lose all of its needles.
Mm-hmm.
You were so close. But
Needler.
Cocaine Bear, he ate you. You were eaten. I guess you were all eaten by the Cocaine Bear.
We all got freaking eaten by bear.
By a bear. So the winner of this year is Cocaine Bear. The coked up
So it's
mammal.
like, next is like Cocaine Bear versus the Marvel Universe.
Who would win?
So
Cocaine Bear solos.
Cocaine Bear solos any verse.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I did not speak a word today. And now my voice is shot.
Yep, now you're gonna die, Jordan.
I'm gonna die of AIDS.
You're gonna die. Your voice is just gone. You can never speak again.
And
Your
okay,
career
let's go
over.
over who did you kill, Jordan?
I killed I don't know.
Donald
remember.
Trump,
Oh, Steve.
Steve. I guess you kind of assisted in Ermen's death.
Yeah.
He has
killed
plus
Merman.
assist.
I killed Merman. I almost killed the bear too.
Almost. I think you had
think
3
that's it.
kills, right?
I killed Steve, I killed Mum, and I killed
So you kind of got your wish. You did do a lot of killing
I did.
compared to everyone else.
Put
Ermen, I think you killed. Was
Jebediah.
it was 2 people. Jebediah and the toaster.
The only thing I'm satisfied is the Amish man. I think that crushed generational trauma. Thank you very much.
Oh, I see.
Well, the Amish had to go. Simply had to go.
The Amish had to go, and Ermen crushed his head with the gravity hammer.
Gravity hammer style.
Style. Super great style. And I think this is the second time I did die from Homelander.
Yeah, I forgot
No
that we had
way.
Homelander in the other one too.
And I remember you did actually recoil to Homelander's killing of Firay in the last one. Like, as I was describing it, you were like, what the hell, man? If I remember correctly, what happened was he took Firay by the neck and put one hand on the shoulder of Firay, raised his right hand up, holding the neck, and his left hand down, holding the shoulder, and basically slowly decapitated Firay.
Thanks for describing it in great detail.
I just wanted
How
to hear
Fury
it
got
again.
murdered. How Fury got murdered.
So Jordan, you got eaten by a bear. Ermen, you
I
got,
did get
I guess,
eaten by a
also
bear.
eaten by a bear.
I got team killed, basically.
Everyone got eaten by a bear.
I
And Merman's hand-
and realized
and
everyone
and I
teamed up
killed
on Ermen.
Ermen. And I killed Ermen. Why is
Ermen got comboed by
Why
was
did
it 3
you-
people?
Well, you wrote this, Jordan. So
Yeah, basically.
you ganged up on Ermen. Really?
I just wanted to make you guys' death as cinematic as possible. I didn't want another dysentery.
Wait, Jordino, did you even kill anybody in this one?
I killed Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
Well, you had help. You didn't do it by yourself. That's not a real.
I had help, yeah.
You had help.
Basically had an assistant.
I used OxyClean and a lighter.
You
It's not even a weapon, and somehow he killed him.
makeshift flamethrower.
And I think Cocaine Bear killed the most people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At that
it was a
point, yeah.
cocaine bear.
It was a
Bear?
cocaine bear.
It was close between like the Terminator and Korra.
Wait, Jordan, I have a question. Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
I did.
Okay. Then you knew the lore.
Yeah. I knew the lore. I
You
knew what
knew
was
the lore.
happening. I almost
You
added
know-
what's it called? A bag of cocaine as one of the items.
Jordan, I
Like the
told you,
sponsored
if I
items, should've-
had cococaine versus that bear, I would win. I'd dominate that bear if I had cocaine too. I'd put him in a chokehold. I'd battle that bear. To the
Okay,
death.
but like, what if Cocaine Bear took the cocaine? That's gonna be twice the
double
danger
cocaine.
itself.
Well, damn. If he had 2 times the cocaine, then I don't know. He's still only one bear though.
Unstoppable. Let me tell you.
He's immortal at that point.
What kind of bear is Cocaine Bear again?
I think it was a grizzly bear.
Ooh, that's like one of the biggest bears.
It is, yeah. My voice. Wow.
Yeah, you died. You should have drank honey or something.
Drink honey.
Yeah, the whole bottle.
Just go to the store, get a thing of honey, and start chugging it in the street.
Chug that honey.
The police will come up to me.
And
Sir,
then
what are you drinking?
Eat
I'm
whole
just drinking
lemons.
honey.
You have to eat the whole lemons.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
you just gotta say
drink
why
it.
you need to do it.
Eat the lemons, drink the honey. You're good.
Exactly. That's how it's done.
and
That's how it's
then
done.
drink scalding hot water right after. Scalding hot water.
Oh
Cheers.
gosh. So we're gonna do this
All I
again
gotta
next year.
say,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
all I gotta
yeah.
say, congrats to Cocaine Bear.
Congrats to Cocaine Bear. guys.
Congrats to Cocaine Bear. Well, Cocaine Bear did actually save the day, because if he did not kill the shrimp, I told you the game would have gone on
Yeah.
forever. You have to
Bro
look
sniffed
for-
that. He sniffed that shrimp out.
He found the shrimp and he ate the shrimp.
He knew it. He knew it was gonna be like a.
He knew it was going to be a problem. He knew it was going to be a problem later, so he ate the shrimp.
He just finished the business.
You really
He was just
think?
thinking
Okay,
forward.
realistically, right? If I killed the bear, Cocaine Bear, hypothetically, I can't find that shrimp in that giant building. Find one little shrimp, impossible.
He would have jumped off by then.
Like, what? How am I supposed to look for one shrimp in a giant building?
Just a 1 hour Hunger Games story.
Not
turns
even
into
an
like
hour.
a
Not even an hour.
6-part.
It,
Turns
months,
into like
weeks.
a 32-hour
Weeks.
like audiobook.
And it's not a dead shrimp either. It's an alive shrimp. So
Day
it's running around.
127. Still can't find the
32
shrimp.
hours of me explaining Jordan finding a shrimp in a high rise.
Looking for a shrimp. This is you. Look, I'm playing hide and seek with the shrimp.
Day 32. Jordan has not found the shrimp.
He looks in the drawers and cupboards. Looks in the toilet.
He checked the rivers. No sign.
He goes to the roof. He's not there. Jordan goes to bed unsatisfied again.
Wait, but you also have to describe where the shrimp is.
Shrimp hiding in Jordan's pocket.
And then it gets
the
to a
past
point where it's
30
so
years.
close to me. It's so close to me. And then it goes on for another 30 days.
I love that audiobook. Jordan versus shrimp.
Jordan looks for the shrimp.
Fuck Finding Nemo. Finding shrimp in a Hunger Games.
Finding
More
shrimp.
interesting.
Shrimp.
Finding shrimp. And then wait, I'd have to hunt for food. Okay, it's like a survival show then. Me hunting for one.
Basically became a survival show. Yeah.
Like, it's a survival show. Naked and Afraid.
Okay. You know what? This might happen again next year. I'm not doing it more than once a year.
This has been a Jordino Talk time. I mean a Friendino Talk time.
Friendino. This has been a Friendino Talk time. We'll talk again next week I think next week is the actual, what's it called? Is it the
Anniversary
actual
month,
anniversary?
day one.
Wow.
Week 1
Oh,
crossed out.
Anniversary.
Yes.
It'll be a, what's it called? A throwback to the original podcast where I write an episode like I used to do.
the classic.
Well, this has been
Okay.
a Friendino Talk time.
I'm done here.
So let's talk
I'm
again
dying.
sometime.
I have AIDS.
And this has been a Hungry Games. A very hungry
And
games.
I am hungry.
I'm so hungry.